Good afternoon instead of good evening. This is Joe Netherworld here with your daily tarot card reading for Monday, April 28th, 2014. And it's getting very close to my birthday, which is tomorrow, the 29th. And then Walpurga is the 30th. So, just taking a moment here. Had a great time watching Salem last night, and you could probably watch my not review, but my fan-based adulation of the episode. I'm on this YouTube channel, but separate from my readings. But anyway, I'm going to do today's reading, and very beautiful, gloomy day out here, very strange spring. But nonetheless, it's spring and it's not winter. They're already starting to worry about summer, and that's because people have nothing else to do in this world to worry about the weather. One, we can't change the weather, and two, it's the simplest of points to make is to worry and talk about the weather. You deal with the weather. You know how you tell what the weather's going to do? You look out your window. You go, oh, it looks like rain. I better wear a raincoat. If people spend more time doing that and less time considering all the ramifications of the worldwide weather, we'd be getting a little further along with our more endearing problems or our more pressing problems. Excuse me as I jumble these cards around. We're going to call this Shuffle for today. We're going to pick our main card, our first card up, and I'm going to take this card for no other reason than it appealed to me. And our first card up, oh, cool, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Now, what the main thing about Queen of Cups is, it's about finding what your needs are and fulfilling your whole self. It's about, whereas other suits, Pentacles are about money, clubs are about work and tangible creations and sort of a lighter version of the sword, and then there's swords, which is always about it's weapons. The cup has a lot of different meanings. In this instance, it's about finding what your true heart's content is and using your intuition. It's more of like about searching for what that is and noting that it's a little bit romantic. It's also a motherly card. It's a strong female force, but also a motherly force. It's a giving. It's the womb, in a sense. The cup in this place takes up that form. But really, what it's saying is that, you know, there's a mother's love. There's a mother's need to protect what is hers. And as we project it onto ourselves, it shows us like what makes us feel and fulfill us, what we're missing in our lives. What do we want to protect and mother and grow? What are we in charge of? And what are we missing? What kind of level of that force is that force missing from our lives? Are we not very nurturing? So this is about what we have to nurture, what we have to nurture, what we need nurtured in ourselves. Let's go in the deck here and find our other our qualifier cards. Very interesting. So my two qualifier cards are, the first is the Ace of Pentacles, which is the champion of money and money concerns and money overall. But our second card up is what I call the Blind Justice card, in a sense, the Two of Swords, which is sort of, what's the best way to put this? Kind of about closing your eyes to the visuals and the pleadings and the emotionality of decision making, and making decisions purely based on logic, and having to choose between two things. And the only way to do that right is to lay out the pros and cons of these things on paper and make it a logical choice, not an emotional choice. So what this, I really feel we're going into today, is trying to figure ourselves out what we're not fulfilling or what we're not nurturing in our lives and what needs to be nurtured. And of course, money comes up, and I think what the money's showing here is sometimes there's just not enough money to do what you think is right. And by not doing what you think is right, you're overlooking what you can be doing without money. And that's an interesting turn of a phrase, because sometimes we put off doing what we could be doing to nurture and to expand our own lives and the lives we protect, because we're still we think we can only do that with money. And that, at the end of the day, the only thing, and I'll say this often, and you probably heard it before in my readings, the only one commodity we never get back, that never grows, it's always diminishing, and which we can never replace, is time. Money comes and goes and comes around, and you could drastically change your financial situations by drastically changing your life. People come and go. Opportunities come and go. They come back around in an endless spiral till we finally exit this mortal coil of life. But time is gone. By the time I finish saying this, time it took me to say it will never come back. That's why these words and this time we spent together is very important, because we're going to try and minimize the damage in our lives by not wasting time on things that we should be wasting time on. So don't put money over what you could be doing with time. Maybe instead of trying to buy your kids or your loved ones or whoever it is something, you should be giving them the time. That just being with them, or putting time into their lives, or helping them in other ways that aren't just about you sacrificing all your time just to make some money. So there's that supremacy there. It's also about having to make these hard choices. And I think what we're going to have to come up with today and really realize is, like, what are these hard choices? Maybe it's about not being so career orientated and being more personal orientated, or the reverse. We have to really look into ourselves and see what we're missing to be fulfilling, like what's missing in our lives. And I think what happens too much along the way, we get caught up in the journey and not realizing where we're going. And we worry about these things, and we build up and say, hey, what really is missing? What is needed? And more than that, what is missing you? What do you need to do in your world to enhance the world around you, which in turn enhances the lives, yourself and all those around you? You got to think a little more tribally and not be so personal. You know, it's weird, the whole world we're living in right now is so much about isolating us, individualizing us, and stripping us away from our groups. And probably you'll realize this when you think a little bit about it. The only time you really feel yourself and fulfilled is when you're in those groups. And those groups could be anything from an online community to your actual family, to your pets, your fur babies, to your gardens, to your community service centers. It's really today about finding what fulfills you and what is needing you. Like, there's a lot of things that you can offer, from the strength of your back, pushing a rake or a paintbrush, helping somebody around your neighborhood, your life, helping yourself, to time and money, of course. But there's something intrinsically about making these hard decisions today about, on the one hand, money kind of blinds you into what you have to be doing, but there's this call for decision making today, and about really finding what is fulfilling. Sometimes fulfilling, I was with some friends the other night, and nothing was better than being amongst ourselves, a group of friends having an amazing time. A very beautiful party was held at my good friend Bob's house. I don't like to use last names, but he knows who he is. And amongst our COS group and associated friends, COS members and vultures, that's how we go by. We are the Vulture Squadron, we're the Church of Satan, we're a whole bunch of different people representing the Witchcraft District in Poughkeepsie, New York. But anyway, enough about that. What happened to us, no matter what else was going on in our worlds, just being amongst ourselves, having a great time and drinks and carrying on and laughing, that's what really was fulfilling. So that's what this reads about today, this Monday afternoon. Fulfilling yourself, finding what's missing, and cutting away what has been a false flag, almost a programming by others to make you think that you're missing things that you aren't missing. Not everyone's going to be rich. Most of us are going to be poor, and that's the nature of the beast. The modern world is there's 1%ers. They have enough money to consider themselves rich, but you know what? They're all going to die anyway. At the end of the day, to quote Edgar Allan Poe, and out of the lights out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of the storm. And the angels, all pallid and wan, uplifting, unrising, affirm that the play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conqueror worm. What that really means is your time's going to run out, kids, and the only one that wins this game is the conqueror worm, death. So, no matter how much money you strive for, it's not worth sacrificing the value of your life to get that. So you won't be fulfilled by checking out an hour before you die with a good checkbook. Look, I've got this money, and now you're dead. So we have to live our lives seeking fulfillment and nourishing and replenishing those around us that help support us, our family, however that family is created. So go ahead, take that into consideration today. Have a very magical day. Enjoy my readings. I love hearing from you. It's been great getting the feedback. All of you guys have really made this really fun for me as well. I hope I've been helping you. I'll be here again around midnight with another daily read. Until that time, I'm going to push this little magic button, and hopefully it signs off without me staring at the camera like a weirdo. And here we go.